Well, Hari Om, good morning. And this class today, it's our last in this series. And lifelong vitality, that's a good thing to think about, right? And I just wanted to talk a little bit about vitality in terms of yoga practice and think about where really the vitality comes from. And where does our health and strength come from? And we tend to get very preoccupied with the physical body and think that is really everything that we have to deal with. But according to yoga, physical body is just really the beginning of our awareness, and there's so much more to our individual being besides just the physical body. So we have more and more subtle layers of energy. And according to yoga, there are 5, you probably know this, most of you probably know this, 5 levels or veils. They're called veils or because they are coverings over the light, the inner light that is our true nature. And these veils, they're called the koshas, 5 koshas, pancha koshas. So we have to take care of both the mental and the physical. And that's why meditation and pranayama are very important parts of our practice, as well as the deep relaxation. That relaxation and stress reduction every day reboot the system. That's a very important part of our practice. So we're very fortunate that Swami Satchidananda, in a very simple package, he gave us a complete balancing yoga practice. In 50 years ago, we didn't even know what we were doing. We just followed the advice, and it has proven to be very useful. Simple, balanced asana practice. The integral yoga sequence is very balancing, and it's meant to balance the prana in terms of the pranic energy, the energy field, but on the physical level, it starts with balancing the endocrine system, and that affects the health of the whole body and balance of the body. And it's to balance the mind through the relaxation, the breathing practices, and the meditation. So it's a beautiful series, and we can add our strengthening practices for especially those that are interested in building up the bone strength through stimulating bone growth. You can incorporate that easily into this sequence. And that's what we'll be focusing on today in our practice. And we can use the breath as a guide. In yoga therapy, the most important part of the breathing is the exhalation. That is where the control takes place, and that the deeper, the longer, the more complete the exhalation, the deeper the inhalation will be automatically. So a lot of times, people who are not used to yogic breathing, if you say, have a slow, deep breath, they think of sucking in the breath like this. But that is not where more breath or oxygenation or prana comes in. When we exhale slowly and completely, then just by relaxing, we inhale and expand. So today in our practice, I'll try to mention periodically check the breath, observe the breath, because our Gurudev, Swami Satchidananda, he recommends that you just let the breath be natural in the asana practice and never strained. So when we're making these efforts and holding poses longer, at the end, when the pose is finished, the breath should just be neutral before going on to the next pose. So you can check for that, and you can check if you're exhaling easily. If you have to gasp for breath, or you can't exhale slowly, then you have to wait, let the breath come back to neutral before going on to the next pose. And we'll be finishing this practice with a prana Om Shakti meditation, which is dealing with the pranamaya kosha, the energy field. We're going to start in our sitting pose, and let's just take a moment to focus on our posture, closing the eyes, and we'll begin with chanting Om together 3 times, and then we'll chant the Hari Om mantra with the breath. So we'll be focusing on very slow Hari Om repetition 3 times with the breath. So you inhale, and on the exhale, the Hari Om comes from the solar plexus up into the throat and out through the top of the head. And we can do that together. Just take a moment and close the eyes. Bring your focus to the breath. Please join in the Om chanting. Om. And now the Hari Om in unison. Inhale deeply. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Let's begin with the gentle eye movements, Netra Vyayamam. You can remove your glasses for this practice, and we'll start with the vertical movements. Open your eyes, look straight up and down. Move the eyes up and down in a straight line. Keep the head still, face relaxed, only moving the eyes. And then move to center and close the eyes. Relax for a moment. Horizontal movements, open the eyes, look far right, swing over to the left, right and left. Gently swinging the eyes back and forth. Return to center, close the eyes. Take a full breath in. Exhale slowly, softening around the eyes, softening the face, neck, and shoulders. Next is the circular movement, starting clockwise. Open the eyes, look straight up, and slowly move around to the right. Trace the circumference of the circle very slowly around. Continue a few more times at your own pace. Check any areas that feel rough. Smooth out those areas and continue around. When you come up to the top, take a pause there and reverse to counterclockwise, starting slowly to the left. Continuing on around in this direction a few more times at your own pace. And the next time you come around to the top, gently center and close the eyes, relaxing the shoulders and neck. Bring the palms together and briskly rub, building up heat and friction. Feel the energy from the friction and cup the palms around the eye socket. Soak in the warmth and the darkness into the eyes, into the head. You can lightly stroke the eyelids with the fingertips. Give a little massage around the eye socket and temples, loosening the jaw, waking up the neck and shoulder area. And bring the hands down when you're ready. Start to stretch out the legs and feet. Roll the legs a little from side to side. Make sure that everything is functioning and warmed up. And when you're ready, we can stand up to begin the Surya Namaskar practice. come to the front of the mat and stand in Tadasana. This is a modified Surya Namaskar practice. We're going to make sure that we keep the spine straight and not rounding forward in any way. So let's spread out the toes, grounding through the feet and lifting the arches. Lift the knees. Adjust the position of the pelvis, shoulders up and back, head centered, chin coming slightly in. Take the palms together in front of the heart and bring the arms out, palms up, stretch up. The arms can be shoulder width distance apart and stretch out, palms facing in. Press the feet down. Inhale, lift the rib cage, and we'll take a lateral stretch to the right. Press the left foot down, stretch out the left arm. And back to center. Inhale, exhale. To the left, press the right foot down. Back to center. Turn the palms out, bend the knees, and hinge forward from the hips, flattening the back. Bring the hands to the floor. Step the left foot back, high lunge. Press the palms, step the right foot back. Downward facing dog, and walking the feet to stretch out the back of the legs. We're going to hold here for about 1 minute. So just spread the fingers, reach back. If you need to rest, you can bring the knees down to the floor. Breathe. And looking between the hands, step the left foot back up and high lunge position. Bring the right foot forward, bending the knees, arms out to the side, flattening the back, turn the palms up and press the feet down as you come up. Take a good stretch up, gentle stretch to the right, center, left, center, and bring the palms together in front of the heart. And relax. Make any adjustments that you need to. And we'll do once again, leading with the right leg this time. Come back to the starting position. 1, palms together. Stretch the arms out, palms up and stretch up. Take a good stretch up. Lateral stretch to the right, pressing the left foot down. Keep the head between the arms, coming up. And lateral stretch to the left. Press the right foot down and up. Turn the palms out, bending the knees, hinge forward. Hands to the floor, right leg back, turn the toes under, left leg back, down dog position, gently walking in place. Stretch out the back of the legs, pressing into the hands, bringing the heels
towards the floor and the head between the arms. Tuck the chin slightly and press the buttocks, the hips back towards the feet and heels. Arms are strong. Fingers are spread out. And looking between the hands, step the right foot up, step the left foot up, bending the knees, arms out to the side, flattening the back, and press the feet down as you raise the arms up overhead, stretching up. Take a gentle stretch to the right, center, and left. Center, and palms together. Now relax. In Tadasana, close the eyes and bring the awareness to the breath. Take a breath in, slow exhale. See if the breath and heart rate are coming back to normal. Now we'll move into our standing poses. We'll start with Trikonasana, the triangle pose. And today we're going to focus a little different in the triangle pose. It's actually Ardha half triangle pose, but it is focusing on the lateral stretch and strengthening, a lot of emphasis on strengthening the spine and the torso. So come into your starting position, feet wide, and I'll be like a mirror, turning the right foot out. Bring the palms together in front of the heart. Lift the arms up and stretch the arms out to shoulder height, and the shoulders are back and down. Now inhale. And on the exhale, begin to hinge from here. We're reaching out, but we're only going halfway, about a 45-degree angle with the torso. Now take this upper arm straight up. Try to have the shoulder back. So this is open here, and bring the arms out. So we're lengthening here. This is where we're holding and lengthening. Breathe. Feet are strong, lifting the arches. Legs are strong. And take this upper arm and let that lead you back up and release. Now we can turn to the other side. If you need to rest with the legs together, can do that. Check the breath and raising the arms up, release the arms out to the side. Now, before we go into the pose, let's check the feet, spreading the toes, lifting the arches, lifting the knee without locking. Legs are strong. Inhale. Now hinging here, reaching out to about a 45-degree angle. Upper arm can be straight up. And make sure you're opening here. The shoulders are stacked. And bring the arms out to reach out and lengthen the torso equally on both sides. No collapsing on this side. That's the whole point here. Legs are strong. Take the upper arm to lead and pull the body back up. Step the legs together. Now check the breath. Let's rest to let the breath come back to normal. Now the next pose will be the chair pose, Utkatasana, which the hips are forward, feet are comfortable distance apart, or you might like to do this pose also with your buttocks against the wall. That's also fine if you practice that way. Spread out the toes, lifting the arches. Inhale, and then slowly bending the knees. Come to a comfortable place, if it's as if this is comfortable, right? And the buttocks can come back a little bit. You can hinge a little here and bring the arms out. Try to maintain a lumbar curve in the back. And if you're comfortable, you can bring the hands into temple mudra. Bring the weight a little bit towards the heels. And to come up, press the feet down. Inhale. Bring the arms down. That's a strong pose. Shake out the legs. Now, the next pose, we'll do one more standing pose now, and that will be the revolve triangle. So I don't know, some people may do this at the wall, or you may use a block, or you may use a chair, whichever is your practice. So for the revolve triangle, the back foot is slightly out and you can step forward. It doesn't have to be a big step forward. You could have the chair in front or a block, whatever is comfortable for you. Check the feet. Toes are spread, arches lifted, and you can have your hands on the hips here, the back. Begin to hinge forward halfway, and then the back hand comes to rest on the block or on the floor, and then the front arm goes up into the twist, and we look up. That's right. Now we can be pressing our feet down. You can let the hips move and come to a comfortable place. Breathing. Beautiful. Then to come out of the pose, we can lower that arm, come back to center, and this time bend the front knee, bring the arms out and up, and step forward. Right. Good. Now for the other side, you can move your block over or your chair. So now the back foot is slightly turned out and step forward. So the hips are forward here, right? Spread the toes, lifting the arches, keep the knees active, and come forward halfway. And then this back hand comes over to the block or the floor, and we begin to rotate into the twist. Front arm goes up. It's a beautiful twist, especially in the thoracic area. Legs are strong. Then coming back to center, come to the center, bend the front knee to hinge back up, come to standing. Is that okay? That pose? Okay. Great. That is a great pose. It's very energizing. Now we're going to lie on the mat. So you can come down and lie on the back. You can take the supported resting pose, constructive rest pose with the knees bent. Have the feet on the floor, about hip width distance apart, arms at the side. Resting here, observe the breath. And as you feel your back is neutralizing, breath is normalizing, you can gently stretch the legs out in a complete Savasana, corpse pose. Now we'll be turning over onto the abdomen for the backward bending poses. We'll come into a prone position with the arms stretched out overhead, shoulder width distance apart, and the forehead on the floor. Feet and legs are hip width distance. From here, we'll take a diagonal stretch out the right arm, left leg, and lift with the head slightly, come up and lower. Opposite, left arm, right leg, and head, gently reaching out and up and lower. Once again, right arm, left leg, lift. Think long instead of high. Coming down, left arm, right leg, reaching out. And slowly lower. Now from here, we'll move into the cobra pose. So bring your awareness between the shoulder blades. Begin to lift the thoracic, the neck and head, and slide the elbows and arms just back to a wide sphinx pose position. Holding here. Breathing. Then lift the elbows and arms, bringing them back, bringing the hands back into a cobra pose position. Still holding the chest up, breathing. Hands are not on the floor. You can lower the hands, lower the chest, and forehead to the floor. And relax. Head to the side. Keep the hands in position. We'll do the cobra pose from here. You can have your legs together or a comfortable distance apart, or you could cross at the ankles if you need to protect the low back even more. Bring the forehead back, roll the shoulders back and down, and on the inhale, slowly raise the head, the neck, the chest. Keep the gaze slightly downward and forward, and the awareness between the shoulder blades. Lift the hands, bring the elbows back and in. Hands to the floor. Slowly lower the chest, chin, forehead to the floor, and relax. Arms to the side and the head turned to the side. Next, we'll be doing Ardha Salabhasana, the half locust. This is for strengthening the low back area. You can have your chin on the floor and roll a little from side to side. Tuck the arms underneath. Or if that's not comfortable, you could have the arms to the sides, palms up. Bring your awareness to the right leg, reach it out, inhale and lift, hold. And slowly lower. Left leg, stretch long, inhale and lift. And lower. Once again, the right leg, reaching long, lift. And slowly lower, and the left leg, long and lifted. Awareness is at the lower back area. And slowly lower and relax completely. Cheek to the side, arms out to the side. Now let's take one more full back bend for the entire spine, arms overhead. We'll do the boat pose or a modification of the boat pose, whatever is most comfortable for you. Forehead is on the floor. Stretch the arms out, legs stretched out. And on the inhale, you can raise both arms and both legs. You can keep the forehead down and reach out. If you're comfortable, you can raise the head into the full pose. And slowly lower and relax completely. Let's turn over and lie on the back. And relax here. You can bring the knees towards the chest. Rock a little from side to side. or make little micro movements, anything that will feel good after those backward bending poses. Now we'll be moving towards into the forward bending poses with the upward forward bend. Bring the knees to the chest and take your strap. If you have your strap nearby, put the strap around the balls of the feet, holding one end of the strap in each hand and pressing the feet towards the ceiling. We're keeping the sacrum and the buttocks on the floor here. So you could bend the knees a little, or you can give a little more strap if you need to keep your legs out at less than a 90-degree angle. That's fine. And we'll hold here. Bring the elbows in close. Engage the back body by pressing the head, the back of the head to the floor. Press the whole back against the floor as you're pressing the soles of the feet towards the strap or ceiling. Make sure you're not having any strain behind the knees. If you are, you should bend the knees a little deeper so that stretch is focused in the belly of the muscle in the back of the thighs or the calves. Now we can gently release, could bend the knees, release the strap, and place the feet on the floor. Just slide your hands, palms down underneath the sacrum, and we can come up to sitting here. We'll take Dandasana, the staff pose, which is the basis of sitting forward bends. Now, if you're rounding, when you sit, if you're rounding here in your back, then use a pillow or a folded blanket to sit on. And let's get a little forward on the sitting bones. For Dandasana, we want to be able to press our hands down and lift out here, lift and keep this lumbar curve. Now we're going to take the strap here, actually bend the knees a little and keep the ankles flexed and put the strap around the balls of the feet. You might bend the knees a little deeper, and so your belly is pressing against the thigh and holding on the strap. You can use some leverage here now to lift the spine up by pulling on the strap. You're pulling the elbows back and you're lifting the spine, especially the low back is lifting up. Now, if that feels comfortable, you can take your heels, your feet a little more forward, but you keep this belly engaged right next to the thighs. And you keep the leverage here. And so you're moving into a forward fold without rounding the spine at all. The back is lengthened. Elbows are in. You can go as far as is comfortable. So until there's any rounding in the upper spine, then you should back up a little bit. Or you might feel a nice stretch in the back of the hamstrings. You can stop there and breathe. It's a beautiful way to work with our sitting forward bend without compromising that rounding in the spine that happens so easily in these positions. Also is very good for strengthening the legs and stretching out or increasing flexibility in the hamstrings and the back of the legs. Now we can slowly ease up, release the strap, and shake out the legs here. Now, before we lie back down, have your block nearby and come back onto the back in Savasana. And relax for a moment here. Check in to the entire body, how it's feeling. Check into the breath. How's the rhythm of the breath? Now you can gently bend the knees with the feet, heels close to the buttocks and the feet about hip width distance apart. We'll do the bridge pose. We can use the block in between the thighs. This will help to keep the alignment and keep our thighs and buttocks engaged. So we're pressing our feet down and bring the elbows in close and the forearms raised with the palms facing in. Pressing on the feet, pressing on the elbows, lift, squeezing the block with the thighs. Imagine pressing the feet forward, engage the buttocks, engage the whole back body. Chest is coming towards the chin. Press the elbows down firmly. Press the back of the head down onto the floor. Slowly begin to release the pose. Relax the arms, release the block, and hug the knees towards the chest. Just rock a little from side to side. Now we'll have our gentle inversion, a supported bridge pose, Or if you prefer, you could do this pose with your legs up against the wall. That would also be an option. Just having the feet on the floor, press up and take the block and put it underneath the sacrum in a comfortable place. And then we can raise our legs up to vertical. So if you prefer, you can do this against the wall. That would be fine. Or a chair. And keep the keep the feet relaxed and not stiff. If you want to circle the ankles a little bit or move the toes, that's fine. And anytime you want, you can bend the knees a little bit or even bring the knees towards the chest and then straighten them up again. If you like to add a little extra lymphatic drainage, you can raise the arms up also and turn the palms forward, thumbs out. This brings the shoulders brings the head of the humerus into the shoulder socket, and it's very good for the lymphatic drainage. You can move your fingers and hands around or relax the arms overhead a little if that's comfortable for you. It's a good stretch. And this also opens up the lymphatic drainage from the armpits, and it's very good for improving the immune function. Now, if the arms are up or overhead, let's gently bring the arms back. Let the hands rest on the belly. And bring the hands to the floor, bend the knees towards the chest, and lower the feet to the floor. Gently remove the block and release the back down to the floor. Just rest here with the spine in a neutral position. You could have the knees bent or straighten the legs out, whatever is most comfortable. having the knees bent and the hands underneath the low back, sacrum area. Come back up to sitting, and we'll move into a supported fish pose with the block. So you can keep the knees bent and take the block long. I have it flat and vertical right at the low back area so that the top of the block is going to be right under the shoulder blades. And you can slowly lie back. If you like, you could put a cushion, or you could do this with a bolster. And maybe you need a pillow under the head or not, and lift the chest. The knees can be bent or legs straight and arms out. Focusing on breathing into the upper lungs, apex of the lungs, and also on the sternum area here, the thymus gland. Also very important for our immune function. Now bringing the elbows in, to press on the elbows and bring the chin in. Engage the core here to lift the head, to lift up, and press on the elbows to come up, and enough to release the block and lie back. Completely relax the neck and shoulders, relax the back. Now I'm going to move the block out of the way. We'll be doing the lying twist here. So the arms are out at shoulder height and turn the palms face down. Knees are bent. Press into the feet and shift the hips to the left. Bring the knees up to the chest and lower the knees over to the right. Now you may need to press on that right hand to move the left shoulder blade back into contact with the floor. Right arm. And you can turn to look over the left or straight up. You can place your right hand on top of the thigh, the upper thigh if you like, or if you're very comfortable here, could straighten out the top leg and hold on to the foot. Now, if you didn't have your knees bent, you can bend both knees, engaging the core to lift the knees back up and feet on the floor and shift the pelvis back to center and rest here. Now the other side, press on the feet, shift the hips to the right, bring the knees up towards the chest and lower the legs over to the left. If you need to press on that left hand to press over to the right shoulder blade, you can look to the right or straight up. And move into the leg position that is comfortable for you. And coming back to the bent knee position and engaging the core to lift the knees up to center, put the feet down, return the pelvis to center and rest here. Placing the hands underneath the sacrum. We'll come up to sitting and we'll be moving into a sitting twist now, Ardha Matsyendrasana. So here again, if you're having a little bit of rounding in the low back, then sit on a folded blanket for this pose. Left leg is straight out and the right knee is up towards the chest with the foot crossed over. Or actually, this pose, we've done it both ways. So whichever is the most comfortable leg position for you, you can come into today. But make sure you're sitting up and the spine is lengthened. We're going to start by raising the arms up, shoulder width distance apart, palms facing in. Inhale and lengthen. And as you exhale, begin to twist to the right, opening the arms out. We're using the strength of the back to move into the twist. Now you can take your arms into position. One arm is behind, the other arm is hugging the knee or maybe pressing back against the knee. Breathe into the twist. And to release the pose, lengthen, stretch the arms out again, palms up, Inhale, raising the arms and coming back to center. And release. Bring both knees up to the chest and lengthen the spine. And then prepare for the other side. Opposite leg. Adjust your position. And inhale, raise the arms up. And on the exhale, begin to open and twist. Shoulders are wide. Chest is open. Back is strong. You can use your breath here in this pose. On inhale to lengthen and exhale, we can deepen the twist. And holding that twist, bring the arms out, palms up. Inhale, back to center, stretching up. And release the arms. Bring both knees up to the chest and lengthen the spine. Now from here, if you're comfortable coming into a squatting position to stand up, or however you like to stand up, we're going to do 2 balancing poses here. You might like to use the wall for support. I'm going to use the wall. For the first pose is Ardha Chandrasana, the half moon pose. We had this in the series 2 of the strong bone poses. So you could do it with your back against the wall, or I'm going to do it today. I have a block and one leg pressing against the wall. That helps me with the balance. So you can decide how you like to practice it. Whichever leg you're going to balance on comes forward, and we can hinge forward and bring the other leg up against the wall. Hand is on the block, and we're going to open up into the half moon pose. So the back foot is horizontal. Front foot is grounded, and we begin to open the pelvis and hips, and the upper arm is straight up. And rotate into the position and hold. Now, that's beautiful. Now, to come out of the pose, you can come back to center, bring the foot down, bend the knees, and come back to standing. I see some of you are doing that full balance. That's very good. I like to use the wall because that way I can hold the pose a little more steady and gradually play with the balance. Now let's move to the other foot, whichever way that is for you, and come into your starting position. Hand is on the block or on the floor, or it could be on a chair. And then begin to move in to the rotation, opening the hips, opening the chest. Breathe and hold. And slowly to come out of the pose, come back to center and bend the knees to come back up. Great. That's a great challenging pose. Now, one more balanced pose is Nataraj Asana, the King Dancer pose. Now, you could be next to a wall also if you like to deepen the back bending aspect of this pose. A little wall support is helpful. So, however you choose, grounding through both feet into Tadasana. You can just have one hand on the wall and the opposite leg, you hold on to the ankle and press the knee down. Stretch the arm up. Maybe this is a good pose for you. And if you want to go deeper into the back bend, pull the foot away from the buttocks and begin to slowly arch into a back bend and hold. Keep the gaze up. And to come out, stretch up, and then release the arm, release the leg. Then you can turn to the other side. However, you're doing the other side, switch to the other foot and raise the leg, holding the ankle, pressing the knee down, raise the arm up. Get a good stretch up that side. If you want to gently move into the back bend, pull the foot out away from the buttocks. And slowly begin to come up, stretch up and lower the arm, lower the leg, come back to standing. Take a
Tadasana. Observe the breath. And now we'll be coming back to finishing this asana portion with a modified yoga mudra and a relaxation pose. We'll be having the relaxation pose with the legs on the chair. So I'm going to bring this chair over. And so it has a blanket over it, but you can just have whichever chair or couch or prop that you use for the relaxation pose and come to sitting in a comfortable cross-leg position. You can have your block in front, standing vertically in its highest level. Sitting comfortably, bring the hands behind the back and hold one wrist, closing the eyes. Inhale, and on the exhale, begin to hinge forward, open the chest, leading with the heart. Just bring the head back to rest the forehead on the top of the block. And on the inhale, slowly raise up. Ooh. Release the hands to the knees. Observe the peaceful vibrations of Yoga Mudra, yogic energy seal. Now you can move the block aside and we'll prepare for the relaxation pose. Sitting close to the back of the chair, can roll onto the back and bring the legs up onto the chair or the support as much as possible in a 90-degree angle at the knees and the hip. If you have a weight or a sandbag that you like to place on the lower abdomen, you can do that. Or a pillow under the head. Arms out to the side. We'll relax here for the next 5 to 7 minutes with some gentle relaxation sounds from nature.
Bringing your awareness back to the breath. Begin to deepen the breath and waking up from this relaxation pose. You can begin to move the knees towards the chest. Maybe you like to hug the knees towards the chest or roll a little from side to side. Whatever feels good for gradually stretching out and waking up. And as you're ready, you can roll over to one side. And gently begin to come back up to sitting. Can sit up comfortably in a chair, on the floor, and prepare for the pranayama, breathing and meditation practice. As you find a comfortable sitting position, you can have some slow, deep breaths at your own pace. Just begin to settle into the breath, pranamaya kosha, the energy level, with slow, deep breaths energizing the whole system after this asana practice and relaxation. Yogic deep breathing, really the most valuable practice. It's always with us. Whenever we think of it, we can breathe a little deeper. And just allow the breath to return to normal, relaxed breathing. I'd like to share with you today this Om Prakash meditation. It's Om Prakash is the light of Om. It's balancing and harmonizing the pranamaya kosha, the energy level. So we're going to begin by chanting Om 5 times. The first Om, we're emphasizing the O, very long O and short Second time, equal. Third time, very short O and a long M humming sound. Fourth time is a humming, only the humming sound. And the fifth time is chanting Om silently, feeling the vibration within. So find your comfortable sitting pose and we'll begin the first Om, emphasizing the O sound. Inhale deeply. Oh. Now equal O and M. Oh. Next, short O and long humming. Om. Omitting the O. Mm. Silently chanting the Om. Continue silently chanting Om and bring your focus to the entire spinal column as though it was a stem, a very thin stem. As you inhale, chanting Om silently, imagine the stem expanding out to the body's level. On the exhale, chanting Om, feel the energy coming back to the stem or spine level. Do this at your own breath rate, chanting Om silently 5 times at your own rate. Then focus at the base of the spine, chanting Om silently. Inhale, raise the energy to the top of the head. Exhale, lower the energy to the base of the spine. And repeat this 3 more times with your breath, chanting Om silently. Then focus your awareness at the base of the spine. Inhale and exhale 3 times, chanting Om silently. Beginning with the awareness at the very base of the spine. Now inhale the energy up all the way to the top of the head. Exhale, let the energy spread out from the top of the head like a fountain flowing down over the entire body. Repeat this 3 times with your breath, chanting Om silently. And return the awareness to the base of the spine. Inhale and exhale 3 times. Chanting Om silently, moving in to a few minutes of silent meditation, enjoying the peace and light of Om. Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityurma mritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Lead us from unreal to real. Lead us from darkness to the light. Lead us from the fear of death to knowledge of immortality. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. May the light of truth overcome all the darkness. Victory to that light. Jai Shri Satguru Maharaj Ki Jai. Hari Om, Om Shanti, Jai Yoginis. Thank you for joining.